New viewers, if you're looking to make money in the crypto space, then you're at the right channel. And if you are new to this game, you are a retail investor, and this channel is tailored to retail investors as opposed to folks who have been trading for years sitting at a computer trading. So if those two things describe you, you are at the right place. And also, if you would like to be able to anticipate with a level of trading intuition moves that happen before most traders can see it, you're also at the right place. It tends to give you an edge on things. And if you can pardon my kids running around, that's just how it is when I try to do a quick video on Bitcoin price. So cryptillions and crypto crackheads, are you ready? All right. So, and also new viewers, if you end up liking what you see and you subscribe, you need to leave me a comment. Let me know if you want to be a cryptillion or a crypto crackhead. You got to choose your crypto pronoun. So let's get going. This will be focused on Bitcoin. I'll make an entirely different video on Ethereum, an entirely different video on altcoins, which might not even need to happen until things decide which way they're going. But anyway, so yesterday in my Sunday wrap-up video, I said in the video that I really was looking for and hoping for Bitcoin to wick up past its daily 10 EMA exactly like this. Very common play as Bitcoin takes a dump or a correction. So like this, I was looking for something exactly like that. At the time, though, it looked like the weekly 10 was going to stop it. So price was stuck about here and had wicked above, was getting rejected. So at that time, I did have a long of Bitcoin here. I took half of my profits just above the weekly 10 and left half going as I took on a short on Ethereum. And I did get stopped out of that, but since I kept my long on Bitcoin as my short was getting wicked out on Ethereum, I essentially was able to hedge my bets and stay even at the same time, right? So Bitcoin was going up, I was making money. Ethereum was going up, I was losing money. It roughly equaled out. And once it looked pretty certain that Bitcoin indeed was going to go to its daily 10. So once it gained enough power to get past the weekly 10 here, which is at this level here. So if you could see the weekly 10 a little better, it looks like this right now, this red line. So it kind of looks like that. Once I saw, yeah, it's probably going past there, I thought to myself, well, what's next? And just so happened that a very, very, very key horizontal that is easier seen on the 4-hour. So I saw, so this blue box area, it meets up with these candle bodies, this candle body and a bunch of wicks down here, right? So this way, a candle body. So I thought, okay, this territory lines up almost perfectly with the daily 10. So you can see the daily 10 here. The red line is the daily 10. I'm on the daily time frame on Bitcoin, and you can see that it is wicking past and essentially getting stopped there. So when Bitcoin was about here, flying up, I went ahead and kept my long. And I closed out my position on Ethereum. Only some of it had been stopped out, but before I could get stopped out on the rest, I closed it. And then exactly when I closed my Ethereum short, I went ahead, and I'll cover this on my next video quickly, but I went ahead and tried shorting around these candle bodies. All right, so around, yeah, just under 2,500. Yeah, so... and those have been initiated, and I'm now in a short on both positions. So when Bitcoin wicked past, I went ahead and took my profits right at the 10, a little too early. So then I could immediately put in my limit sells with leverage, which is a short, on Bitcoin just a little bit past. So I think I got in at maybe 23. No, it wasn't that high. It was just barely past, wasn't it? Yeah, like, I think I took it right at like 23,500 or something. So I'm probably down like 0.5% or 0.25% right now, but that's typically how you do things when you're leveraging. So those were the things that I was looking out for. It looks like the daily 10 will end up becoming resistance, because also you have the weekly 55 or the daily 55 kind of overhead offering resistance. You have even more resistance at this purple territory, which this next purple territory up, it's the same, range that Bitcoin was playing with between the 17th and the 22nd of April. So essentially, I'm seeing these candle bodies that candle wick, this area here, and all these candle bodies there as another territory. So if Bitcoin starts flying past here, I'm going to, you know, take a small loss, get out of my position, and probably I might actually start putting my limit sales for leverage up here. And if it doesn't get there and it comes up here, it peters out, I will just market sell with momentum down. But I probably won't try to play the next level up because I've already gotten it wrong once. So I would aim high for in case it really does wick up past the daily 21, which is right there. It could wick up past the daily 21 on the next stop, which is what I would be looking for. I think it would skip over here, but it does have a chance of getting stopped there. But I wouldn't play that until it looks like it's clearly getting stopped. Then I would jump in. I would bet on this happening. Because I don't like getting wicked out and stopped out so many times because, you know, it does chip away at your account a little bit. So this yellow territory, this yellow range here is the daily 21 range, and it does align with the top end resistance, you know, that formed resistance on this little range from the 17th to the 22nd. So again, just like the daily 10 has double resistance, has resistance from this previous support, and typically previous support becomes future resistance. Leave me a comment if you finish that sentence, talking to your screen. That's always nice to hear people do it. Anyway, so this support I'm anticipating becomes future resistance, right? Along with the daily 10. However, if that doesn't work, then I would guess that this past resistance, along with the daily 21 that is also here, would become, again, resistance. So those would be the plays that I'm looking for on Bitcoin right now. However, zooming out to get the big picture, I'm going to maintain with what I was saying yesterday. I think this week could be an extremely volatile week, and I do not, just like I said in my video yesterday, I do not anticipate this candle closing red. Although I think it's very easily, it could come all the way down to 44, you know, 45, 47 again, somewhere around here, and then come right back up and close above the origin line somewhere around 50K or higher. Or it could, you know, just live completely above this 10 for the rest of the time, because Bitcoin does not like to live below the weekly 10 at all very long in a bull market. It rarely happens. Let me show you, for example. So the reason why I'm so fixated on the idea that Bitcoin will not live down here and close many weekly candles at all, rather it will just come down here and then scream right back up on the weekly and close weekly candles up here. The reason I'm so fixated on that thought, it's because that's what it always does, essentially, and that's a good bet, right? So if you want to look at the previous bull market, so let's look at some of these deep corrections here. So if we want to go to this area here, so these, so it closed once, twice below the 10, and then the next wick it closed above and moved forward. So this was two closes, and that is not very common. But it tagged its 21 twice. I don't anticipate this happening, but it could. It could close twice below the 10. But if it does, that would probably be a good time to take on along, because it's probably gonna fly up. You know, based off of past performance of Bitcoin, right? So that's one option for what could happen. Another option which could happen, which is kind of what I've been thinking this whole time, is this is going to be the fractal June 2017, is we have two very volatile weeks, and these would be the weeks right here. So I think maybe a replica of something like this could happen, which would mean the week needs to come down first and then scream up, which is going up now, but it could go up, down, up. Like, this could be a hyper volatile week, folks, I'm telling you. And this is and that coincides with my theory that this next 30 days with Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of playing a sine cosine wave type of deal, it's going to be really tricky to play. So if you're new and you haven't made very many successful entries, successful exits, and most of your money has been made by holding a coin, you might just want to sit out. You're very much more likely going to lose your money. So if most of your money was made by buying BPro at a low price or Veracity at a low price and writing it up, and you haven't made successful trades, I wouldn't try doing this. Now, if you try to follow, you know, exactly my steps of how I'm doing it and kind of emulate it, with the thoughts that you do put in stops to limit your losses, and you don't move them up or erase them when price is getting ready to hit them because you think, oh, it's going to go down, right? As long as you can control yourself with that and keep your stops roughly where I personally am saying that I'm putting them, you could give it a try with maybe 1% of your portfolio, but at the same rate, you would want to plan on kind of losing that 1% in order to gain practice, because this is going to be a hard market to make money from. This is going to be super tricky. Okay. So anyway, back to the 10. So this is kind of this is why I'm so fixated on it. So even here, it didn't close a single damn candle under the 10. A single one. So you see how volatile this week was? That's what I'm anticipating. Or see how volatile this week was? It went down, then screamed up. This is kind of what I'm thinking. A mixture of this, or this, or this could happen. So one of these three. So March 2017, June, July 2017, or September 2017. Bitcoin's probably going to do one of those three. You can bet on it safely. It would be a house bet. To bet on something else happening in terms of the formations and the colors and, you know, how many weekly closes below the 10, to bet on something else is a losing bet. Could it happen? Yes. Could you roll snake eyes and bet on snake eyes? Sure. But it's a bad bet, you know? I'd rather, if you were able to bet on, you know, 3 through 12 as opposed to snake eyes, obviously you take the better bet. I don't know much about gambling. If what I just said sounded ignorant to gamblers, I'm sorry. I guess I don't really gamble. Again, when I trade, I am not gambling because I am the freaking house, yo. I am the house. I enter statistically probable trades and I manage my losses. I get out quickly and then I milk my gains. And I only enter trades with a very clear plan and I execute my plan. If the plan doesn't go, I get the hell out. And I try to make the next plan. And if I can't see a very clear next plan, I stay the hell out and I sit down and I don't click my damn mouse. Sometimes no trade is the best trade, right? So anyway, these are the three things I'm looking for, right? So this, or that. One of these is going to happen with a very, very high likelihood. And what that means for Ethereum, I will follow up in a different video, but this is what I'm looking out for on Bitcoin. It looks like it wants to break up a little higher, doesn't it? Which means I need to get the hell out of my trade. So I need to get off this video, go close my, if I'm not stopped out yet, I'm going to get the hell out and I'm probably going to set my limit sells for leverage up higher. And yeah, I got to go. See ya.